Happy Halloween, Libra. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is your weekly tarot forecast. Please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. And that way you won't miss any of the daily, weekly, or monthly tarot readings that we do for your sign. Okay, let's get into it and see what is the message that's going to come through for Libra. What is the energy? What is the situation? What do you need to know for this coming week? Oh, we're starting out with the Nine of Swords, but before we jump to any conclusions, let's put out the rest of our Dove and Serpent spread. And that is going to include this bonus card, mystery card, confirmation card, whatever you want to call it. We're going to leave that right there. We're not going to look at that until the very end of the reading, so stick around. And hopefully that will tie the reading together or give us that confirmation that we're looking for, okay? So, let's see what we have here. I think, we see coming with this Nine of Swords, we see this Queen of Swords, right? So I think this Queen of Swords is probably representing you, right? And some sort of new understanding or new realization that you need to be coming to this week. That's there's something there for you to grasp, right? And I think the situation that's going on has to involve this Nine of Swords, this kind of painful conversation, maybe this kind of offensive exchange that you might be having with someone. I feel like there's someone in your life, and especially when we look at the Path of the Dove here, because we see a couple of major arcana cards, we see some cups. I think this is in terms of a relationship that you're in with someone who is, I think with this Nine of Swords, just not treating you very well. Or this could be even that the relationship that you're in is in some way lessening your self-esteem, your confidence, and you're starting to have some of this Nine of Swords energy, this kind of self-doubt, this negative self-talk, this kind of being mean to yourself, putting yourself down, right? And I think that it really has to do with something in this relationship. I think this is a romantic relationship, but I think obviously there are some other factors that are playing into it here. But the main idea is this kind of painful exchange, or this, in some way, you're being pierced with these swords, right? With these words. And they could be coming from yourself, like directed inward, or it could be coming from someone else in this relationship that is maybe giving you the room to have that self-doubt, kind of fostering a little bit of that self-doubt and that negative self-talk. Okay? So that's what we see initially, right? That Nine of Swords, that's really bugging me. Because whenever we get the Nine of Swords, it kind of means that there's some kind of cruelty or malice or just that negative, that venom, that poison kind of thing. And it could be, in this case, you directing it at yourself. It could be that you're putting yourself down. And that's because we see this Queen of Swords here that's crossing this today. So it's almost like you have to really do something this week. You have to act in order to get out of this cycle, whatever this is that's going on with this person. Now, there is a chance that these kind of venomous words are coming from you, directed at this other person, but I don't think so. I don't think so. And I think as we read the other energies here, you'll kind of see why I don't think that's the case. I think this is being directed at you, but I'm not quite sure yet where it's coming from or why, or who maybe it may be coming from. So let's see what else we have here. I think we're going to go down here to what's just beneath the surface. There is this love relationship. There is this connection that you have with someone. And this is a feeling maybe of really being in love. Maybe you feel like you're in this soulmate situation. And this could be really that feeling of harmony and love and trust and abundance and affection that you have with this person, or that you want to kind of believe is there. Now, I can tell you right off the bat, I don't really like where this reading is going. And, you know, I'm kind of, I have half a mind to just abandon it altogether. But we'll see. We'll finish it out and see if there is some light at the end. I think there is. Looking at the path of the serpent, I think things are going to work out okay. I think you're going to get through this quickly and in a good way and in a very, you know, loving and supportive kind of way. But I don't know where the origins of this Nine of Swords especially, this is the central thing. And if it is in your romantic life, your romantic relationship, if you're in one now, or if you're single now, then this was probably the relationship that you just got out of. But there was something going where you believed that it was the real deal, right? The one. I feel a strong sense of that soulmate kind of bond, right? But that's just beneath the surface. That's kind of what all of this is resting on. And I think it's more your belief, or your wanting to believe, that that was the case. That was the nature of that relationship. Okay. So that is rather incompatible to me with this Nine of Swords, with this venom, with these poisoned tipped swords, with this cruelty or malice or just being put down, right? And again, if these are you aiming it at yourself, or if this is coming from somewhere else, I think ultimately you're being influenced by this relationship that you're in. And whatever this is about is fostering this self-doubt or this kind of malice toward yourself, right? Let's see, let's look at a couple more cards here. And again, with this Queen of Swords, I really think that it's something that you need to take action on, you know, ASAP, to get through this, right? To stop whatever is kind of the source or origin of this Nine of Swords. Now, we're going to go to the recent past here. We did what's kind of underneath the surface, what this is kind of resting on, and that's the belief that this is, or was, you know, a love connection, a soulmate situation, that this person was or is the one, okay? And we see in the recent past, kind of, this is the energy that you're bringing into things today, and this is caution, prudence. This is the Eight of Discs. This is saying that you've generally, consciously, with full awareness, intentionally have taken things very slowly, because you didn't want to be in another situation or position where you might have some false expectations, or a little bit of rushing into something and thinking it's one thing and then realizing that it's maybe not. So I think that you've taken things very slowly. You've tried to be very cautious, not rush into any relationships or, you know, romantic situations. You've taken things slowly and cautiously because you don't want to be in that kind of bad position again, right? Or you thought you were taking things slowly. You thought that you did everything slowly, cautiously, carefully, with a lot of reserve, a lot of prudence. Keyword for this card is prudence. And I think it's a little bit perplexing, and to me as well, and I'm sure to you, of why you've taken things slowly, cautiously, right? And you really feel like this is, or was, the good thing, the one. A good, strong connection, a loving, deeply connected, affectionate relationship. But then how do we get to this Nine of Swords? This is the culprit here. This is the enemy kind of right now. And I don't know why this is, because every other card that we see here on the path of the dove seems to be pointing toward this being a perfect relationship, this being a really good thing that you're in or were in, if this is kind of what was in the recent past. So I'm not yet understanding why there's this kind of malice or cruelty or putting yourself down or losing your confidence, losing your self-esteem, or just kind of being mean to yourself. Like you're on the receiving end of these 9 bloody swords, and I don't know where it's coming from or why, because everything that we see here looks like, I mean, on paper, this seems to be a really good thing. Is this resonating with you at all? Is this making sense? Because I tell you, it's not making much sense to me. And the other thing that we see at the top here is this Empress card. This is kind of the whole reading in a nutshell. And this is love, support, success, nurturing, affection. This is even like, the union of 2 people that leads to, like the creation of new life and like maybe motherhood, fatherhood. This is, a really balanced and warm, harmonious, affectionate situation. On paper, this seems like it's an A1 kind of relationship and just amazing. So where is this 9 of Swords coming from? Where is this tendency or this pattern or this cycle that you're in of just hurting yourself, like emotionally, or putting yourself down or losing that self-esteem? Where is that coming from? Because again, on paper, this seems like it should be pretty damn good, if not perfect. I mean, everything here, you took it slow. There's a lot of love connection. There's really the highest goal and possibility for just this wonderful union, wonderful, successful, abundant union that's based on this real love connection. And you took things slowly, and you've been cautious, and you've been doing everything that you thought was right. And we've got this 9 of Swords. And there's something going on with you and that 9 of Swords that I think maybe only you know. Maybe this isn't something that you've really been telling other people or communicating, or nobody really knows this about you. Something like that. Something like that. In the immediate future, we see the Emperor here. Okay? And so this is giving me some indication, at least one possibility here, that this cruelty or animosity, that 9 of Swords, is in some way related to this Emperor figure, to a dominating person in your life. Maybe this relationship, yeah, on paper looks really good, really perfect, but kind of behind the scenes or behind closed doors, there's this really tyrannical Emperor energy, right? Maybe very controlling. This could be. This is just one possibility. That this is someone that you need. Remember, Queen of Swords, this is you. You need to deal with this person because they're the ones that are kind of putting you in this 9 of Swords position, or drawing this out of you, or leading you down that road with yourself. Does that make sense? But that's just one possibility. The other possibility, and one that I am kind of leaning toward, and we'll see some reasons for that on the path of the Serpent here, but on the path of the Dove, since we have both the Emperor and the Empress, I see these as 2 individuals who are responsible for their own actions. They are very strong, powerful individuals. Let's say you and this other person. Very strong individuals, right? Very confident, very assertive. And then when the 2 of you get together, you're basically ruling the world, right? I mean, Emperor, Empress, it's kind of there in the metaphor. It's an unstoppable relationship. This is, again, on paper, this should be the perfect relationship. But it could be that there are some qualities in this Emperor that are going over the top, that are going to an extreme. You know, every card kind of has, it's a spectrum, right, of kind of between good and evil, let's say. So the Emperor, yes, can be very assertive, very confident, authoritative, very fair and disciplined, right? But that can be taken to the extreme, and they can be tyrannical. They can be cruel and full of wrath, right? So that's a possibility. It could be. Now, the reason why I'm not pointing out the negative qualities of this Empress card is because of the positioning of these cards, right? The Empress has her negative qualities too, right? She can be overbearing, she can be a little too motherly, she can be just too like indulgent and different things, too selfish. A lot of things can be going on there too. But the reason why I'm focused on this Emperor is because of the way the cards are positioned, right? The Nine of Swords and the Queen of Swords representing you were directly in the path leading right to this Emperor. Okay? The Empress is at the top on the vertical axis, right above the Two of Cups. So that, I think, is all there in line. But also what we see is the card that is right in between, and I swear I'm going to get an overhead camera, because this really, I think, adds a whole other depth and dimension to these readings. The spread looks like that. You've got the Empress on top and the Two of Cups on the bottom, but in between is that Nine of Swords, that animosity, that putting yourself down, that cruelty that's aimed at you. So it's almost like, what is getting between your feeling of love and harmony, your feeling of bonding, affection, soulmate situation, right? What's getting between your feeling of that and then the actual loving, abundant, deeply bonded, emotional, affectionate, connected soulmate relationship, right? What's in between your feeling and hope for that and that actually being a reality, right? The ideal and then the manifestation of that. What's getting in between that? The Nine of Swords. Your self-doubt, your putting yourself down, your loss of self-esteem, your this kind of pain directed at yourself, this hurt that is maybe coming from you to you. Okay, that's what's getting in between the manifestation of what you really feel about this situation. So that's another possibility. And then again, there is that possibility that there are some negative qualities about this Emperor person, and they are being too tyrannical, too overbearing, too controlling, manipulative. And that's leading to this Nine of Swords, this loss of self-esteem, that sort of thing. Okay. So I'm not sure which way is the right way. I think for some of you, it may resonate one way. For others, it may resonate a little bit differently. Let me know in the comments. Let me know how you're doing. And, you know, as always, if you're in a dangerous situation, please, contact the proper support systems that are out there for you where you live and get whatever help is necessary. Okay. Now we're going to move over to the path of the Serpent here. We see some other energies here. We see some more major arcana. We see some earth cards, right? So I think the main idea on the path of the Dove was that you have to do something. There's some action you need to take to get through these Nine Swords, to get past those, right? To conquer whatever that issue is. And in some way, it's leading to this Emperor card. It's either leading to them, as in, once you get past this Nine of Swords, you can have that relationship that you want. But also it could be pointing at this person and saying, hey, they're in some way, I don't want to say responsible for this situation, but they play a part in it. Okay. So now, on the path of the Serpent, first card we see is the Nine of Discs, and this is in the position of your ego, kind of what's on your mind, where your head is at, what you are kind of thinking about day to day. And usually the Nine of Discs is a gain of something, right? Could be a gain of money or position or wealth or fame or any of that. I think in this situation, what it is representing, what you're hoping to gain, is your confidence back, your self-esteem. You're hoping to regain yourself, right? And your wellness. And I think you're trying to gain back whatever these 9 swords are kind of cutting away from you. Whatever these are pulling or draining from you. I think you're really thinking about how to be kind of restored to that state of wellness, right? You want to regain whatever it is, confidence, self-esteem, etc. Whatever it is that you're losing in that situation. You want to get that back. And so I think your mind is really on kind of health and wellness and rejuvenation and being restored physically, but also mentally, emotionally, right? So I think you're really looking to recover and get through this 9 of Swords situation, which you can do through your own efforts, again, with this Queen of Swords. It's up to you to do what's necessary to get out of this. But I think it's been on your mind lately. You've been wanting to get back to this state of health and wellness, right? A rejuvenation, a restoration. Now the next card that we see is the Star card. I love this card. This is in the position of your relationships, or your relationships with other people, right? How you relate to people. And this is really telling me a couple of things. One, is telling me that you get a lot of your self-worth, a lot of your self-esteem and confidence tends to come from other people. Okay? It feels to me, and now I could be wrong, I'm not trying to be offensive in any way. It feels to me that a lot of your confidence and self-esteem is something that's kind of given to you by other people through their affection, through their love, through their validation, right? And if we look at the Star card, we can kind of see that she is pouring that blissful, magical water, that beautiful energy. She's pouring that down on herself, but at the same time, she's dumping more out, right? So at the same time that it's coming down on her, she or he or they are dumping it out again. So what this feels like to me, again, is this sense that you're receiving the validation, the self-esteem, the confidence from the people around you through your relationships with other people, right? But at the same time, you are losing your self-esteem. You are, in some ways, with something with this 9 of Swords, you are in some way, for some reason, through some means, also pouring that self-esteem back out again. So you're never going to be filled up. And it could be that rather than expecting it from other people or waiting for other people to provide that for you through validation or affection or attention, you just stop pouring it out from the other cup, right? Lift that cup back up, get it upright, and start filling it up yourself. Okay, that's one interpretation of the Star card in this situation. Now this reading is still not making me too happy, okay? I still might not even post this. Obviously, if you're watching this, I decided to post it. Maybe you'll get some insight or some benefit from this. I truly hope so. I hope this doesn't resonate at all with any of you. Okay? But let me know in the comments. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how you feel about this and if this is resonating. And, of course, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. I want to do more readings for you. So the other interpretation of this Star card is a little bit more positive and hopeful, right? I think this is really saying that, in some of your relationships with other people, you really do gain this sense of love and beauty and connectedness, right? I think you love the exchange with other people. You love having relationships with people. You love the give and take. You love the ups and downs. You love just the variety of relationships with your friends, your family, coworkers, loved ones. That's kind of what you thrive on. You're a very social person like that. And I think that it really does make you feel connected to the universe. And it makes you feel like that wonderful, blissful energy that's coming on you when you're when you're interacting with people and you're learning about them and you're sharing, you're exchanging ideas and energy. I think you really thrive on that. And that's a very refreshing water that's coming down here. So that's a positive way of looking at this card. But there's, like I said, every card kind of has its spectrum, right? So it could be that you're relying too much on those relationships, and then it goes back to that self-esteem thing that we were talking about. Okay. Now, the next card that we see is in terms of your fears, worries, concerns, what may be causing you some anxiety this week. And this is a court card, Prince of Discs. I wonder if this isn't talking about a specific person, maybe a male energy, earth sign person, about the same age as you, maybe a little bit younger, a little bit older, doesn't matter. But if you don't know their astrological sign, or it's not really vibing with the whole earth sign thing, I imagine they have a strong earth placement somewhere. But they are at the very least a very hardworking kind of physical person. They're very much in tune with the physical world, and they, probably have a job where they are working with their hands, right? They're doing something physical, and that's kind of where their focus is. They're very much like, they have that strong work ethic, right? They're really, really focused on that physical work that they do. It could be they have very long days, right? That's the person. That's who I'm getting a sense of. And I don't know if that is the same as the Emperor energy that we saw in the Path of the Dove, if that is the person involved in this relationship with you. It could very well be, because again, this is in the position of your fears, worries, and concerns. So it could be that this is that person, and maybe there's this reluctance or this anxiety about how you're going to proceed with this person, right? And it could be on either side of that coin. If they are just the perfect person, perfect relationship, well, then how are you going to proceed with them when you get over this Nine of Swords issue? When you start dealing with that head on, how is that going to affect your relationship with them? Or if they are kind of that tyrannical Emperor energy, how are you going to confront that issue and proceed to get kind of out of that situation, right? So that's kind of the twofold way of looking at that in this position especially. So I think it's an earth sign person or somebody that has a very physical work that they do, right? And this is somebody directly related with this situation. The next card we see, the final card on the Path of the Serpent here, the projected outcome. This is a good one. This is what at the beginning made me say, okay, there's some light here at the end, and maybe we'll keep going with this. A little bit of hope and optimism to end with, right? So the Sun card. This is where the energy is headed in all of these cards. The energy is heading here to this Sun card. This is a restoration of health, right? One of the main things about this card is it's perfect health, wealth, happiness, abundance, and joy, and peace, and radiance. So I think whatever is confidence, right? Self-esteem, being just proud of yourself and just in love with who you are and just shining out into the world like this sun. So I think this is where you could be, right? And I think once we get through this Nine of Swords issue, it's going to be replaced by this joyous, beautiful, warm sun. This sunlight energy, radiance, confidence, happiness, and this real love and joy in being you, right? And you're going to be able to get back to this sharing and exchange with other people that you seem to really enjoy and really thrive with this sharing of energy. And you're going to be able to radiate your light, your personality, your spirit and soul out into the world through these relationships that you have, friends, family, loved ones. you're going to get back to that, right? In the best, most positive, productive, successful, abundant way possible. We just got to get through this Nine of Swords. We got to get to the bottom of this issue. Now, Libra, we are going to look at this a little bit more in the extended, but first, let's check out this confirmation card. I almost forgot about it. Because I like ending on this Sun card. I think this is I would like to just end it there, right? But we have this confirmation card, and, you know, I'm a little nervous about what this is going to be. I don't want this to set us back at all, you know. I don't know how we can get very much better than this Sun card. But maybe there'll be some more cups, perhaps. Let's find out. There is some more cups. This is the Princess of Cups. So, this could be yet another person involved. It could be a quite young feminine energy person, maybe a water sign, maybe somebody who's just immature, right? Young, a youngster. That makes me sound old, doesn't it? This could be someone like that who is involved here. That may be a very crucial thing to consider, very crucial person to consider in this situation that you're in, right? Could be, a child of yours. It could be a younger sibling. It could be just, if it's not another person, this could be the beginning, because the princesses a lot of times don't represent another person. They represent a stage in your energy that's still very young, right? Still a baby. It's this seed, it's this small feeling in this case. And I think this is the beginning of this confidence and self-esteem that's being built up. I think this kind of is you turning this cup upright. Remember, we talked about that? Turning that cup upright. Stop spilling out your self-esteem, your confidence, all that love. Turn your cup upright and start filling that cup back up. And this is the beginning of that. This is like the first few drops that are coming in. And it's going to grow. And this is going to mature, right? Princess is going to grow up and be queen and fully matured, fully realized. So this could be the start of that confident energy, that love, that water energy that is going into this cup, because Princess of Cups, it works, I think. So this may not be another person, but if it is, they're going to be a very young or immature person that is in some way a factor in all of this. Still could be that. But at the same time, I really do think this is the beginning of you filling that cup up. This is the first few drops, the first few cups full that you're filling up with this star card. Okay, now we're going to look at the extended. So if you want to become a member of this channel, you can click on the link in the description box, and that'll, allow you to do so. Otherwise, thank you for letting me read for you today. This was your weekly tarot forecast on Dove and Serpent Tarot. That's just warm water.